I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she's 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, then speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Turn up, gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Soon as baby turn up, you know Buddha gon' turn up. Let's start the show. Only good vibes. No, I'm serious. Let's start the show. Come on, mom. Come on, mom. Only good vibes. Turn up. Turn up.
Hey, what's good, sippers? This is your boy Buddha, and over there's a lovely
baby.
And I'm telling you, she looks so good. She looks so good. And we're coming to you again with another rendition of
Sipping in Conversation.
You thought I won't forget you.
No, you're fine.
But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes your beauty strikes you. And I have to pause and acknowledge that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Hey, Simples, how y'all doing out there?
You might hear some acoustics.
Yeah, because we in our place now. And so we getting all the pieces to the puzzle together. So eventually, it'll be like, it'll be all right. So y'all bear with us. If you can hear now, give us some thumbs up and some loves, the little hearts and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Let us know. Say hello. Tell us how you're doing. Share. Share.
Okay.
And share again. Hey, everybody out there in Facebook and YouTube land. It's your girl, baby. Yes. And like Buddha said, we are here for another rendition of Sipping in Conversations. So we're just going to go ahead and get the preliminaries out. You know what I'm saying? Business first. www.buddhaandbaby.com is the website. All right. That'll let you know that. Number one. You can find us on YouTube for you to share. It's imperative that your support on our YouTube channel is shown by the likes. All right, so go ahead over there and subscribe. And it is Sippin, SIPPIN, and Conversations. It's pretty much the same across all of our platforms. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Stitcher, all of it. So we on all the major platforms. What else? Stars. Man, don't forget.
Oh.
They're there. So just look up, hit the stars. It's important. It helps with continued support for Sipping in Conversations. When we see it, it allows for us to acknowledge you personally, okay? Because that's what we do. But in the likelihood that you would like to, let's just say, hit us with the support financially directly, you can just always go to $Sip and Convo. That's the little cash out. All right. Buddha, let the people know about how to do for commercials.
Commercial?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, man. We block out spots. We block out paid spots for you and your business or whatever it is that you're trying to promote. It can range from 25 to 150 based on what you need. If you need around the clock, outside of our show, on our page, on all our social media apps, because we are on YouTube, we're on all the different podcast platforms as well, then that's where it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if you want it one time during the show, 2 times during the show, it's your choice.
Yep. And just know that when you do the commercial, of course, you take your segment, and the fact that we are actually live on YouTube and Facebook, right? But as Buddha mentioned, and as I said earlier, we are on all the major audio platforms. So it's going to be heard on one of those platforms as once we, within 48 hours, I was looking for all of the names. But within 48 hours, we do upload to our streaming platform that our host platform, and then it shoots it out to everywhere else that it needs to go. So it will not be in vain. You can have one, or you can have, like Buddha mentioned, you can have it going on every show. You know, so there's different pricing structures, tiers that you can utilize.
Right.
Okay.
Like if you want us just to read whatever it is that you got, or you have a video that you want us to play, or if you want us to do our own skit for it, that's how the ranges take form. It's not, you know, it's truly up to you guys.
Yep.
You know, and what your need is.
Well, I can't find it when I want it, because I can't find it.
But while she doing that, I'm gonna ask her a crucial question.
Okay.
What you sipping on, baby?
Vodka.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I'm getting up in my season years, so I've been drinking on the botanicals.
Okay.
Because it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar. Yeah, so you know, you get more bang for your buck. You know what I'm saying? I can't find it, and I know it's in here, so I'm gonna stop looking. But nonetheless, no, because I had to put it back on my little page with my little notes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So I just want to make sure we got that taken care of.
Your botanical vodka.
And my botanical vodka in my let me see how I got it. Let's go.
I'm not sugar and spice and
Everything.
nice. Sage and hood and wish a motherfucker would. Then, baby.
Namaste. Okay. Yeah. And if you have a product and you would like for it to be displayed on the Sipping and Conversation show, you are more than welcome to do so. You want to do, and you have things that's customized. If you have jewelry, you're not wearing any, neither am I. That's also something we could do. So we got that out the way. So you all know we didn't come on last week because everything transitioning and everything, and so boom, everything that was transitioning was us getting our spot. So we are here in our spot. Like
Reunited, and it feels so good.
He is crazy. But the last thing we talked about was the deathbed request. We just gonna talk for about a quick second on that. Deathbed request, where ultimately the young lady she only had like 9 months to live, and she asked her significant other to sleep with an ex. That was her deathbed request.
Hey man, listen. I'm gonna have to, I'll bow out gracefully.
Sorry for that noise, y'all. We
I'll
gonna find another spot in a minute.
I bow out gracefully on that one, man. There's nothing you could do and say that could make that right.
I don't know. We joked around or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's like, how much money on the line? But when you look at it morally and ethically, she was wrong for that.
Okay.
But at the same time, just imagine you got a $2 million policy. She got a $2 million life insurance policy, and you the beneficiary.
I mean, she gonna fuck with whoever she want for again.
I'm
saying. Rich, bitch.
So if money on the line, then what?
I'm gonna excavate that deal.
Oh, I meant to say, look at my shirt. Be at Do You Intentionally. This is my girl Chanel Royals brand.
Okay,
I was like, I'm happy.
I'm out on love.
So I just thought that again.
Okay.
We displaying merch.
My man Tracy Boyd, what's up? Smoke, Shawty, Big Dog, how you doing today, man?
All right, so you sipping on that Grey Goose? That's what
Grenadine. But I tell you what, this show is for you today, man. Check this out. This show is gonna be for you today.
Nice.
All right.
That's
All right.
Nice. So listen, give us a second. We're just gonna drop a little small commercial, something in the middle so you people can get the gist of how this thing can actually work.
As far as
your area
of expertise and what you need us to advertise.
You know what I'm saying? We just want to make it happen. So we'll be right back. Okay?
Oh, this is for the simples. Yeah. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. Yeah. We sipping in conversation. We sipping in conversation. What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through, huh? What it is, or what it do. If your homegirl sipping, then bring her on through, baby.
What it is, what it do. If your homeboy sipping, then gon' come through. What it is, what it
There you go. Woo! So let's get right into it, baby. You want me to say what the topic is for the day, or you want to slide in? So the topic for the day is parenting adults. How do you parent adults? We all have kids. So at our age, our kids are adults. And how do you micromanage that? What does that look like? You know what I'm saying? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Take off. What you got for me, baby? It's tough.
Well, for me, it's tricky. I guess I was a young parent. You know what I mean? So with me being a young parent, I grew with my children. And so I was experiencing life and all that. So we established a bond already. You know what I'm saying? We had to because we all we got. You know what I'm saying? And so now that they are adults, it's like, okay, fortunately for me, I was raising them to be independent and not codependent with me.
I got you.
So, I always wanted them to understand that I wasn't going to be here, be it physically or, I wasn't going to physically be here, like, always, death, or one day I might have to go somewhere, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was wanting them to be good, do the things when they was younger, because let's say I did pass away or something like that while they was young, and now somebody got to take care of them. I didn't want them to have to be taking care of my kids, and they was dysfunctional ass kids, you know what I'm saying? So I was on them about hygiene, all the stuff, you know what I mean? So they was being groomed to be adults.
Okay.
So that, for me to parent them now, it was easy for me to cut the cord. Now I got one child that she be forgetting that she the oldest.
Oh, is that right?
I won't say her name.
I mean, for
but
me,
I love you.
Parenting adults is a new phase. Parenting adults is a new phase for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I'm good at it or I know what I'm doing. I'm so used to them being my child, So them being able to have free reigns and talk to them, without having that forceful parenting voice, is a transition for me that, you know, sometimes I hit it and there's a lot of times I miss. Because you want to see your children succeed, even though they want to go their own path, right? They want to go their own path, and what they look like, what their path look like from what you see, you know it's a dead end road. But you want to save them, but then how do you save them?
You don't.
You can't.
You cannot.
And that's where the
You cannot.
how do you transition? How do you transition from being that full-time on, sometimes drill sergeant, of being that parent that was controlling their moving the pieces for them on a day-to-day basis, to taking your hands off and allowing them to be the adults that they want to do without trying to help.
Well, you got to remember, you was once a child. That you cannot forget. You was once that child that thought you knew everything.
Oh, yeah.
That had to go touch the stove, even though it was, you could put your hand above it and it was warm, but I'm gonna touch it anyway, because it ain't that hot. So you was building your tolerance up as a child, exceeding the boundaries. And now you become the adult, knowing full damn well you gave your parents the business.
Who, me?
Nah, I ain't. Yes, motherfucker, you. So when you see your children displaying the exact same characteristics and behavior traits that you did, it's an instinct for you to do exactly what your parents did.
Oh, you go back to.
But we do it the wrong way.
You go back, huh?
We do it, we don't approach it the right way. Like, first of all, you should have already had some things in place. No matter, let me just be honest. No matter how great of a parent you may think you is or were, children are going to be children.
Yeah.
Number one. And those children become adults. The best you could do as a parent is give them the proper guidance on morals and values.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because as far as how it looks, when they do it, we too old to be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. When you know, damn, well, you was out there in Freaknik. You was out there Black Beach, what is it, Black Beach? BCR. You was all the way live. You was everywhere. It was popping. You was doing all the stuff. It just didn't look the same. If you know what I'm saying, because you was in the midst of it. So it's like you was doing it. Now I'm not saying that makes it no excuse, but you should have compassion. You know,
empathy.
Compassion.
Oh, that's it.
Compassion.
That's all you got.
In that
grace.
grace.
Oh, okay.
In that, for the most part, I personally would just say, like, all right, look, I know you're gonna go out there and fuck it up, friend, but do this, do that, do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, give some area, because they gonna do it anyway.
So my question is, as the parent with an adult child, how do you set these new boundaries, even when it comes to you invading their lives, or them invading your new life? Because now they're adults.
Be consistent.
Okay.
Stay grounded. You know, as parents, we be at and then we do, right?
Right.
And so you teach them, you show them, you talk to them, and then you take your hands off of the situation. As saddening to us as it is, we cannot save our children all the time. Why? Because what are you really teaching them? That every time I go do this, that, and the third, my mama, my daddy, they gonna come look out, they gonna come and save me. No, sir.
But that's
I
what
need
we
you
do
to follow.
though. It's instinctual. Hold on now. That is instinctually what we gonna do when they hurt, when they cry, and when you, man, as a parent, you gonna run. No man, it don't matter. And the funny hard thing about it is, it doesn't matter how many times they disrespect you. You are going to figure out a way how to be there for them.
I already know how I'm gonna be there for them, but I also want to see what kind of critical thinking that they're going to impose on their own life. Because it's just like when a baby falls, right? Baby be falling all the time. And every time you go, as soon as that baby falls, oh, and then the baby start crying. Sometimes you gotta let the baby fall.
Yes, sir.
And get up. And you got to you can't act like you're looking because you give it attention.
Okay.
As soon as you start giving it attention, what's gonna happen? The baby gonna start crying. And so that's the routine. That's what you're teaching them. Like, I'm gonna fall, cry, my mama gonna come, my daddy gonna come. So I'm gonna let you fall,
Okay.
cry, and figure out how long you gonna take for you to get your ass up.
You're right. So Tracy Boyd says he disagreed if they're disrespectful.
I'm gonna definitely let you
You gonna let them have it.
I'm gonna let you learn your lesson.
But you
Because you know everything.
But see the thing,
My son is in prison, y'all.
I mean, I get it.
I did not save him.
But I get what you're saying, but it doesn't take away from your first instinct to want to do the things, man.
I wanted to do it by
Like
giving him love to prevent.
you're right. You want to
He chose.
listen. It's some things you can't take away. Like if they do legitimately criminal shit, they gonna go to jail with you or without you.
I love you, but what am I doing?
Right. But when it's something like, let's say for example, smoking weed in the house, that you told them that they can't smoke weed in the house, right? But they're smoking weed in the house. You know it. You kicking them out,
Yes.
or you giving them a second chance?
You get a chance.
One.
A.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
Especially when you're an adult.
Right.
Because number one, maybe I wasn't clear the first time. Maybe I didn't put boundaries. Because if you in my house, my roof,
Like dog roof.
ROOF, roof.
I got you.
If you under the place that I'm creating and providing the provisions,
Okay.
you really only get a chance. Well, you know what? A possible
Chance of the possible. A
possible chance. Possible chance.
Not the chance. Okay.
And I'm saying this because you are an adult.
Yeah.
You do know right from wrong. Now, granted, I know the frontal lobe is not fully developed till 24, 25 years old. So, but you do have the capacity to know when somebody told you don't do something and you ain't in the place that you pay for and you ain't got nowhere else to go, what you not fixing to do.
Oh, what you not fixing to do?
What you ain't gonna do on my watch is be disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree. That I agree. You don't want to be disrespectful, right?
Because doing the opposite of what you were advised not to do, that's blatant disrespect.
And that's ground to get fucked up.
Goodbye.
Get out.
Adios.
And that's the first, and you gonna tell me, you gonna say right here, right now. Hold on. Right here, right now. If they do it one time, they out.
If we had the discussion, I'm saying if we
This
had
mama
this
better not.
discussion, as you better check my resume.
dynamic now. It's a real whole number dynamic when you're two parents. It's a two-parent household. Yeah, you know how we work, and you know how adults are.
I would have never did that though.
Well, so they'll put both parents against each other.
Right.
So now one's always gonna be good cop, and it's always gonna be the bad cop. 9 times out of 10, it's the father figure in the house that's the one to get the hell out of here. They the one, they cut and dry. Usually that's how it is. Then the mama bear. 9 times out of 10, the mama is gonna fight for that child to the end.
Sometimes. I just look at it when you're dealing with the parents and the adults. Trust me, I have 3 of them.
I got 2.
And they range between 30 and 20. And so for me, I done seen it, heard it, could write the book about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna stay true to who I am as mama. You don't want me to talk my shit.
Right.
Don't give me nothing to talk shit about.
I got you.
So if you coming to me and you need me, don't expect that I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna do with conditions.
you see that?
Because what we not gonna do, I'm not an enabler.
So on that point, so like we were all kids. We're still, and some people, if your parents are still alive, we are still a child, and we are the parents now when we're adults and stuff like that. I say for me, like I said, it comes down to the transition. I had to fight long and hard as a child, dealing with my dad, just to be heard as an adult. And I was in my 30s, like, yo, man, but I'm my own man, Pops. You keep looking at me like I'm 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? I got whole grown kids now. You know what I'm saying? And then for me, it came to a point where I had to say, look, Dad or Mom, you instilled these values in me that I hold to. I got these values instilled with me. So now when I'm dealing with my child, because grandparents like to exceed over, they gave you all the best parenting, all the strict parenting, right? And then when they get to your kids,
Well, life has happened.
they like to say, hey.
But again, y'all know that our parents parented based off the experience that they had up to that point.
Right.
So now, 20, 30, 40 years later, they've added that much more experience, right? So they can actually look back and be like, you know what, I could have did this differently. So let me help my grandchildren. Let me put these nuggets into my grandchildren.
See, here's the thing though. Why not pour in this knowledge? Why not pour that same knowledge?
You couldn't. How did you didn't have the knowledge 40 years later. You didn't have that.
So this is a positive right here. This is positive about parenting adults, right? So I'm an adult, and I'm fortunate enough to have my parents there. You're an adult. You're fortunate enough to have your parent. One or Western. I understand. I really truly understand. But now, so here's the thing. You done lived 60, you in your 60s, 70s, right? This is where you at now, right? And you then came to the Dalai Lama of understanding parenting, right? You at that point.
You still don't get it right.
You don't get it right. But you want to go over and pour into the grandkids when you can still pour that knowledge into your own child to be the best parent they can be for your grandkids. See, when you jump over them to get to the grandkids, you're missing that you're missing that structure that you already tried to put in.
Most people,
Come on now.
most, not all, most grandparents, their perception is, I've done what I could do for my child. However, there is another generation as the elder that I could pour into to make the next generation more better, more solid.
I get you.
They don't,
But don't stop pouring into your
You
child.
should never stop pouring into your child,
Okay.
adult or not.
I'm here with it.
I won't
I'm here for that.
never say that. However, there's a line because again, most, many, I'll say most, I won't say most,
Get
many,
your word right. Get your word.
many adults in your now, right? Can't nobody tell you nothing.
Right.
So,
But hold on. However, even in there, can't nobody tell you nothing. Moment. Your mom or your dad who's still living, or whoever that parental person that was in your life that is still living, if they say something to you, you're gonna at least consider it.
of course.
Okay, so now that kind of on your statement, then it kind of not holds a little more weight. I understand what you were going with that, but it kind of don't hold weight. If my parent can say, you know what, son, you pull your britches up, and I'm gonna pull my britches up, or why you coming in so late? You're gonna at least have that dialogue, and you're gonna give them reverence and respect because you know who they were to you.
I mean, look, parents of mom and dad is still gonna be mom and dad no matter what.
What I'm saying.
But let's just be real. All parents wasn't good.
Well,
There wasn't a lot of good parents out there.
okay, I'm here for that.
So now, I don't need you pouring into me. You didn't even come into my life actively until 15, 16, 17.
What?
I ain't saying you can't, but I done already had somebody that stood in the gap.
Okay.
You're not it.
Okay. So we're going back to the
I'm just saying, so I don't need you. I'm not saying that, but I'm less inclined to receive anything
from a deadbeat parent.
from a deadbeat parent.
Yeah, I can get that. But
Do you deserve a chance?
But what
Sure,
I would
yes,
say,
you do.
what I would say in that situation, try to understand what the situation was, if you could, right? Sometimes, as a child, you think like a child, you stand in a child's place, and that can work to your benefit, or it can work to your detriment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in one hand, you can stay in a child's place, and you're gonna be fed whatever the custodial parent is feeding you. If it's negative, then it's going to be negative. And then you're building a negative concept about your other parent that it necessarily may not be true. But guess what? This is where you are 15 years later, right? You're there 15 years later, an adult now, angry, upset at your father or mother, whoever it may be, right? Because you don't know all the circumstances. You only know what you've been fed by the person that's been feeding you for how long they've been feeding you. And if you're going to talk about parenting from a parenting aspect not always being right, there's a lot of hurt parents out there that breed hurt adults that we as a society can't move forward with because of all this bitter and hurtness.
I mean, at what point do you draw the line? Because yes, parenting adults can be difficult in so many aspects because, like you said, instinctively you want to be the parent that's there for your children, but you should also know that the more you do above and beyond, to the point where you're assuming their true responsibilities, that what they should be being responsible for, you enabling your children. your adult children.
Your neighbor.
And so if that's what, and I know that a lot of parents do these different things because they were missing. They feel the guilt of what they didn't do when their child was younger and the kids and all of that. But you gotta give yourself grace. Because the same way our parents parented to the best of their knowledge and experience, you did the same. Now, granted, yeah, we done all messed up. Went too far to the left, or did too much, mismanaged money, made poor decisions. We done did it. There's no perfection.
Absolutely.
But you gotta make peace with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot go living vicariously through your grandchildren.
Right.
You can't go make right through doing all this extra stuff because financially you're in a better place. You can't do it. So you just gotta know where to give your own self the grace when it comes down to parenting. Should you be pouring into your children? Absolutely. Pour into your children until you can't pour no more. But you also gotta know that no matter how much you pour or how much you taking them to that water, if they don't want to drink it, that's what it is.
Okay.
Right? So I wanted the Buddha one to go a little bit into this video that was shared. Well, that's on a page.
It's on our page.
And I wanted to bring it up because it goes into the importance of
Fatherhood.
the fatherhood aspect. So I'm gonna get it going. All right, y'all. Un momento, por favor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my mouse.
She's doing an excellent job. I kind of know.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Let me get it popping from the beginning. If I can get it. All right. So I'm gonna let it start. Can y'all hear this?
I'll let you know. No, they can't hear it. They can't hear it. One moment.
Oh,
That's why.
sorry, y'all.
You see what I'm saying? Stop living on the edge where you have. It's not funny, but I'm laughing because you don't know. I have to teach you stuff that matters, that don't matter to you. Woo. That stuff that you learning doesn't matter. The stuff that I can teach you matters. Well, it can take you a long way, man. Respecting and shit goes a long way, man, with the smallest of the things. So I want to teach you that shit, man. Like when you go to talk to these people, man, if I had you sharp enough, you wouldn't be scared to go in there and talk to them people, man. You'll better go in that motherfucker handle that and not try to out-talk them. You get yourself some situations because of how you done learned yourself. You see what I'm saying? Stop living on the edge where you having to always try to get yourself out like right then. Well, you can then done got your mind well, you ain't got to worry about it when you go because you been done handled it back then. That's all I'm trying to get you to understand, man. But I can't give it to you in one day. Every time me and you together, I'm having to bunch it all in one big conversation to where I lose you through the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose you. That's the thing. I want you to take all this shit in. Other niggas might have said, but they don't care and this and that and love you like I do. They ain't gonna be there like I do. They might can talk this and that and want to be whatever, but I'm that. You see what I'm saying? And more. You feel me? Fuck that. You know, they don't really care like that. You see what I'm saying? So man, come home.
So when we see this, right, it's like the father is really trying to reach his son. You know what I'm saying? And
His adult son.
his adult son. And one of the things he was mentioned, you know, the guy that's doing the comment that's, you know, that you see in the clip next to him, he goes on to speak about this. And one of the things he did mention was about when the fathers are away or whatever, you know, for whatever reason, whatever the politics were regarding the mom and the dad, why the father's no longer active and so forth, you know, no matter what the situation is, he was just like, you know, don't throw the mom under the bus. It's what it is. The best you can do is just start from where you at, because that's where it's most important to the child. More specifically, he's talking about with the sons and how he's 40 years, he's almost 40, and he need his dad more now than he did when he was saying when he was like 5-6 years old.
That's real.
So how do you feel about that?
That's real. Speaking from a parent, right, who was not in their child's life, I felt that. I felt that idea of having to get it all in, whatever it is on your chest, good or bad, whatever you want to teach them, all in when you have them right then. Because for me, I didn't know when the next chance was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Because of how the politics in the co-parenting that me and they mama had, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it fell on deaf ears. It fell. Like I felt like I was losing my daughters in that moment because they just wanted to be happy. They wanted the happy dad because they don't want to have for 2 hours. They wanted the dad that's going to be fun and rah, 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 not this multi-complex guy who thinks about life the way he thinks about life, that's going to be able to benefit them in the long run, because the time was so limited. So I felt that right there. And then the vice versa to the point where, do I need my dad now? Absolutely. It's just, I'm just saying dad now, but it doesn't have to be just the dad. It can be whoever the parent is that's still living. Do you need them? Absolutely, because they still got something to teach you about this thing called life. Because if you know it all, it's over. It's over for you. At least you. When you feel like you know it all, it's over.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I picked up when I was listening to it is him saying, you know, he said, I have to say so much at one time and I don't feel like I'm reaching you. And I always tell Buddha, we talked a little bit, you know, I tell him the same thing. You saying too much. Because I can hear and I can, you know, as parents, and you know, especially when you're talking to your adult child, you wanna reach them so bad, but if you're not providing substance in the what that you're saying, what begins to happen is you're no longer creating a safe space. You're no longer creating the avenue so that they can come to you willingly and openly to share and to receive what the nuggets you're trying to drop on them. They done already shut it up. So at best, you say, you know, it's like you just say some relevant, relatable stuff, and then it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you gotta kind of like come down. And I ain't saying you don't be no parent and get on that level, but sometimes How do you want? You gotta know your audience. That's the number one. When you're communicating, you gotta know your audience. So you're gonna have to use terms. You're gonna have to do certain things to reach that adult child. So I know that's a long word. Adult child. You know what I'm saying? Your child, but they're an adult. So you gotta, in order for you to reach them, you gotta come off as relatable. Like the information you gotta know your audience. I can't go do a presentation to teachers, but I'm using, and these are teachers that do history, but I'm over here talking to them about math. They don't go together. Stop looking, it just play. I gotta keep them off me. No, I work in a building with a number of men, so he is a better deterrent. Anyway, Buddha ain't ready. No, but first, stay focused. So all I'm saying is, if you gotta create an avenue, and that was why I had my notes, because I didn't want to forget. You gotta create an avenue for them to come back, but you also, while you creating that avenue, you also creating that safe space. Y'all know I know how to unsafe a safe space, so.
Oh, yeah.
But I know how to create one too. You know what I'm saying? I have dialogue on topics and stuff that I know my kids, my adult children will understand. I look at the TikTok. I try to follow the Instagram. I try to not follow, but get into some relatable stuff so I can start having the conversation, so they can be like, you be knowing about that, and then now we can talk. So then when I lead into this here sucker punch conversation, they're like, God damn, she got me.
So again, it comes to I guess I'm listening to you, I'm hearing you, and it comes to that transition that we were talking about earlier. How do you transition from being that parent that was the everything for your child to relinquishing that role in being a parent that allows your child to be that adult, right?
Didn't you want to grow up?
I mean, I wanted to, yeah.
I mean, I'm saying you wanted to be seen as an adult.
As an
adult to your parents.
See, here's the thing about that for me. I can only speak from my own personal experience, my own personal experience about that. I had to fight. I had, as a child, as a grown man child, however you maybe said it, I had to fight for my parents to look at me as an adult. I had to. Yes.
But why did you have to fight?
Because, hey, listen, because I took the role that they didn't foresee for me. I took that role less traveled in their mind, right? Okay. The harder role. But that's who I am. So they looked at me like, man, he doesn't make the right decision. He's still that same.
But did you?
Huh?
Did you?
No, I didn't make the right decision.
And
but at the same time, I wasn't asking them for help either. So, I wasn't asking them to pull me out of the mud.
No. But they still the parents, so they're gonna see you for the actions that you are exemplifying in your life.
You're right. They're gonna see you, but still, you want to be treated like a grown ass woman.
So I govern myself as a grown ass woman.
Baby, me and you both know you had that conversation with your mama too.
When I was 20 years old?
Whenever you had to make that conversation, baby, you made it, and you made it evidently clear, and your peoples understood where you were coming from.
Because from the moment I said it to present day, I exemplified everything I asked to be respected on. And right. If you can't respect it, it's still gonna happen whether you respect it or not. But I only had to say it so that we can now establish boundaries in what my role is versus what your role is.
Okay, so I get what you're saying.
And I had to do that so that my children
Could know what that level, that
Where-
line, that threshold they
right,
couldn't go.
and that and in order for us to all be on the same playing field as it was regarding the village, you know,
Mhm.
with raising children,
Right.
everybody had to be on one accord. And so once I did that and I walked exactly, I said I am the mother and I am the first.
But see, here's
I
the
walked
thing.
that walk.
But here's the thing. When you say those things, when I say I had to fight, I had to do the same shit. But unlike your mama or your parents, I had to continue to keep saying.
But you didn't have to if you would have walked that walk.
Look, I did.
You did not walk the walk.
First of all, one. Let's get one thing straight. I don't have to walk their walk. That's number one. I don't have to walk their.
I didn't walk my mama walk.
And so,
I walked
however,
Mhm.
whatever their perception is of my walk,
Mhm.
and if they didn't approve of that, it continued to say, okay, he is the same person that he was as a child. Not necessarily because they only know me from the window shopping aspect. They ain't sitting there in the trenches with me fighting the great fight just to how to survive and be a parent to my own child. They got their own assumptions and they go with their own assumptions, right? Based on whatever they think they see. But they don't know what's going on.
Well, no, of course they don't know.
So-
It's just like in a business. From the when you at the top,
But
they
you-
don't understand the operational day-to-day aspect. They
Right,
just looking
right,
at the bottom line.
right.
The
So-
bottom line is, are we making a profit or is it a loss?
So
you were
I
still in
get
the
you.
deficit.
yeah, I'm still in the deficit. But
So
guess
that's
what?
how they was looking
But
at
guess what? I'm not
I
doing.
ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying.
I mean, I ain't saying it right. You're absolutely right in the aspect of how a parent would look at their child in a situation when they feel like they ain't doing the best that they can do, and they trying to get whatever it is. You know, because you know your child's temperament, right? But it doesn't make it right. You still got to treat them like adults if they're adult, especially if they ain't costing you no money.
I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, but you know,
Costing you no
and I'm
money.
not talking about just you, but I'm just saying in general, when you say when a person is saying they're doing this, but then yet their actions are not aligning with all these things, and then the attitude, the mental don't align with the actions and the day-to-day operation. So it's like a plethora of things that parents will be looking at with their adult child.
Right.
So my son tell me all the time he doing this, all right, and I'm like, okay.
So again, like when Mr. Rick said, a liability or an asset, right? I mean,
Now granted you ain't asking for money, but at the same time,
I'm
you
trying
don't
to
put
say that good
yourself,
name.
if you don't put yourself in a position, God forbid you die,
Mm.
and you ain't got no life insurance, they got to bury you.
Yeah, you can't just, and that is a great analogy and a great way of putting it in this day and age, because you can't even they can't even bury you. You know how much money this costs to bury somebody. You know what I'm saying? They don't even want to put you in a cardboard box without at least $500. You know what I'm saying?
Just saying. So
Just saying.
the fact that when you're talking about like the shifting of parenting from looking at that child, well, I'm looking at my child who just still ain't got their shit together. And they saying all this and they
I'm gonna ask you a
but then
question. Does it affect you? Does it affect you as a parent? How do you feel as a parent knowing if your child is not living up to their best potential?
I mean, it saddens me.
Does you feel like you failed? Do you feel like you failed?
I don't feel like I failed, but it saddens me that you ain't learned your lesson yet. Because absolutely, if you do this, that, and the third, that's on you. My good name, everybody know I raised you well.
So
So
I'm gonna ask this to the silvers out there. Have you ever compromised who you were to save your child?
I have. I know I have, but I also know where I drew the line too. Baby super here. That was my input.
I mean, I'm here. I mean, like I think you know, in the short time I've had being an adult, parenting an adult, yeah, I have. But I did it because I was trying to gain a relationship with my child that I just didn't have. So I put up with some things that I wouldn't necessarily do in my own life or put up with in my own life that actually put a strain on the relationship that I had with my current woman. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't put a strain.
Shit, y'all were looking at him sideways, the tension
No.
and high, you know, questions on top of questions and comparison. Look, yeah.
No, but there's examples that needs to be made. You know what I'm saying? There's examples. And so when you shift the synergy in a home to be compassionate, to make provisions and to do the things, when you shift the synergy, it doesn't just make it necessarily unstable for one person. The home moves as a whole, as a unit. So if the one leg on the table is missing the bottom, it's gonna shake.
Oh yeah.
And that's just period.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't even have to be your child. It could be you. It could be me. If there's a missing piece on the table, it makes that table unstable.
Right.
That's just period. Now, I've never been put in a position to have to compromise.
Fortunate, man. Count your blessings.
Right.
Count your
I
blessings.
just there's no limit to what a parent will do for their
You're
child,
right, man. I done seen
adults or
Let's
kids.
think about this now. I'm gonna give you some prime examples of what parents do. They child and stone cold rob a motherfucker, but they want their child out of jail. He don't need to be in jail. He's a good person, but he just robbed somebody. You know what I'm saying?
No longer a good person.
You're no longer this person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you like to hide behind the idea of a product of his environment. And this is why he is what he is. But overall, I raised him right.
You know, no parent want to see their child on TV.
Stand up in court.
But at the same
Testify for
time,
you, no good
don't
child.
my children absolutely no. Don't go. Do not embarrass me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me, because I done stood before a judge
Mm-hmm.
and told the judge, do what you must do. Okay. I ain't her.
What kind of parent are you?
I'm a parent that taught my children about morals and values and about consequences for your actions. For every action, there's a reaction.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you will be held accountable. I taught them about accountability. And that is why parenting adults, for me, I'm not saying it was easy, but the transition was smooth. Because I've taught them about accountability. And I've taught them, now I'm gonna be there, but I'm not gonna be there
It's hot.
all the time when you done effed it up. Okay, I'm not the parent that will kick you out, but I will kick you out for blatant disrespect, for, tearing the synergy up of the home, especially when there's other children or other people that's involved in that home. You're gonna have to find yourself other provisions, because I've done what I could do, and as an adult, it is time for you now to go out here and figure it out. If you have to sleep on a couch, on the street, wherever you gotta go, I mean, at some point, when you gonna wanna get on your own fucking feet?
I mean, I feel it. I feel that wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at what point? Now, if you fall short of the glory and you need to come back home,
That's what you do.
I got you.
We build you back up, send you back out.
Tally ho.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not just gonna kick you out.
You really got to do something.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be the safe space. I had to go back home. You know what I'm saying?
At some point.
But I know when I went back home with goals.
And you weren't trying to stay there. No.
I went back home with goals, and trust me, I ain't been back. I haven't been back. And I know I can go back home right now if I needed to. But I'm going to do everything I can to prevent. You do the preventative thing so I don't have to go back. Even though my mama going to open her arms and her door without blinking.
All right. I can dig it.
And that's parenting a whole almost 50-year-old adult. she is gonna open her door and let me in.
Right. That's what happens. So I guess we're gonna do final thoughts, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You wanna go with yours first?
Go ahead.
I think my final thoughts gonna be, man, for those, it's okay to get therapy or ask therapy. It's okay to get therapy to help you transition that parenting aspect of being that state. Well, this happens for mothers all the time, single mothers, and specifically. Right? No, then
Just go with it.
specifically.
Don't go on TikTok.
Single mothers, single parents. You've been that person. You've been that parent for so long. And when they become adult, there is such thing as getting therapy to learn how to cope with the parenting of an adult. And we need that in the Black culture. That's one of the things we need to learn how to do. Being a kid, having a father and a mother who's still alive, I got to find a balance to understand the needs and understand and just to get the wisdom from them that I still can get. I need to cherish them more now for the wisdom they have and not take them for granted. Because I do take them for granted. From time to time, it's me being honest. Because, I was telling my dad the other day, look, man, I still see you. You look to me like 45. You never aged past 45. But he's almost in the 70s now. And I know his time is coming. I hate to say it, but his time is coming. I need to start acting like his time is coming and cherishing the moments as I should, right? So, and as for my children, regardless of they respect me or disrespect me, I still got to learn how to give grace. Number one, I'm learning grace. And number two, create a space for them to come back to me when they need to. That's personally speaking for me. I got to work on that. Now I'll digress and allow baby to run away with me.
Oh, stop. So for me, as far as parenting adults, when you mention grace, give yourself grace. Know that you did not do all the things as you would have liked to see it, but it is not too late to just be a parent. Your role will never change. You will always be a parent of that child or those children. And so the best you can do for your children and being the child of being the adult child is walk the walk. Be the parent, be the adult, live your life. It is not that important if you die and you left nothing but a hard damn time. Get the life insurance. Keep your health together. Buy the house, buy the land, do the stuff, and just keep living. That is what you leave for your children. Well, technically, that's what you leave for your grandchildren, okay? Because a lot of the times, we don't do the stuff for our kids, especially when we got grandkids. We generally are preparing for our generations to come. So if you're, just because it didn't work out, it doesn't necessarily mean it's too late to pour into your child. But at the same time, you have to also remember to give yourself grace. You can't do all that. What you woulda, coulda, shoulda, that's past tense. All you can do is live now and move forward and be an example. And tell your children to stop calling you because they need shoes for their new job.
Ooh, shots fired. Oh, just for you guys. I didn't tell you what I was drinking. I was drinking some peach 20 grand with some ginger ale. I did something a little different.
Okay.
I did something a little different. Leave your mark. Leaving your mark.
Yeah, leave your mark.
Absolutely.
That's what's important. That's what's important for parents and adults.
Yeah, man.
Leave a mark.
It's tough. It ain't easy. It ain't easy because you it's a battle of wills. But
I remember a lot of stuff my daddy used to tell me. Still, he was not an active parent, you know what I'm saying? But he was a very involved parent with me. He provided substance. He instilled in me. And fortunately, my mom did not block my personal relationship with my father. And then they end up later on in life getting married.
Who knew?
So, you just never know what can happen when life becomes, 40, 50 years in on life. And so live now. Be, act, do you intentionally. All right, Simples, until next time.